Alright, this is the continuation of Chapter 3. Here's some methods for the string class, and you will have to use some of these. Okay, upper. For instance, if you have a string called a string, you just say a string dot upper, and it makes it uppercase. That's it. A string dot replace. Okay, but like I showed you in the assignment 3, you need to save it to the string itself, just like I showed you. But you can do upper, you can do lower, you can index the find stuff, you can use find. Okay, and now actually let's talk about those two for a second. Index returns the index of an item. For instance, if I had Ken and I was looking for an E, it would return a 1. Y'all agree with that? Because it starts at 0, so the E would be 1. Okay? If you had Ken and you're looking for an A and it's not there, you get an error. This is where it's different. In Java and C and C++, index returns a -1 if not found. In Python, it returns an error. In Python, they have a find method, which basically is the same thing, but returns the first occurrence and a -1 if not found. So they're very similar. I'm not making you use those, but I am making you use count. Okay? Count returns the number of occurrences of an item in a string. And I want to know the number of times the word and is in that string. I think it's 3 times. Okay? And just because I gave you the actual output of all the correct numbers, that doesn't mean hard code the numbers in there. It means use the correct methods, but since I gave you the right numbers, you know if yours is working right. Understand that? Don't just hard code the number 3 in there for and. Use count and make sure it returns the number 3. Unless mine's wrong. I didn't verify mine. Hopefully it worked. I'm assuming it did. So I might have made a mistake. I don't know. Okay. Is everybody okay on these methods? Let's look at a few. Okay, let's look at ljust. Way back when I was first writing code, I wrote in a bunch of different languages. I did ASP, was probably my most popular for a while. Sometimes you want to pad stuff. Okay? Well, padding, in other words, you put in some spaces with it. Ljust does the same thing. Left justify for how many spaces. So if I had the string Ken and I did ljust for 10, it would be KEN in 7 spaces. Have we got that? You could have rjust, then it would be 7 spaces, and then KEN. Okay? You could also center it on 10. So I actually wrote my own methods that I had in a utilities file. I had pad L, pad R, pad C, which is the same exact thing this is doing. Alright. Now, the next example they have here is count. Everybody see count? Count counts the instances of a particular item in the string and returns it. So in here we're looking for O. Well, O is in there 1, 2, 3, 4 times, so it returns a 4. You can also count OO, and it'll return a 1. So you can also search for A and D, and it should return a 3. Okay? You don't have to make separate variables for those. You can just include it in your print statement. It'll be fine. Let me show you what I mean by that. Alright, name equals... Actually, can I use single character or single or double? Either one, exactly. Okay, print. One. Everybody see that? So what if my name was... Oops, hold on. My name was Keen. So I should get a 2 now. Okay, what if I wanted EE? Well, bring this back down. I keep forgetting that. What should I get now? 1. What if I bring my name back to Ken again? Now what should I get? 0. Index will return an error. Count just returns the number of found. Easy enough to do there? So you could actually do the count right in the middle of something. Like, let me put my name back to Keen here. I'm going to say, this is going to give me an error. Hold on. I'm going to show you how to fix it. Hi there. Now it's just going to say, hi there, EE, or hi there, 1. That's what it should do. Ever agree with that? Hi there, 1. Alright, got an error. Does anyone know why? Told you we were going to get one. Can someone read that error and tell me what I did wrong? Very good. Do y'all see what she said? Okay, I said hi there, which is a string. And I said, use the concatenation character, because that's not a plus. It might look like one, but it's really a concatenation character. So I said, hi there, add to it an integer. Java doesn't care. It does it automatically. It does an implicit type conversion. Python does not. It's like, whoa, I can't convert an integer to a string implicitly. So how do I fix that? Well, easy. Just go over here and tell it to make it a string. Hi there, 1. And that's why I said you needed to use str in your program, because you're going to get the error if you don't. So what we did is we did the typecasting of the integer from the result of the count into a string. Everybody see that? So if you don't put the str, you will get an error. Yes, no, maybe. Pretty good for a person who wasn't even here last time. All right. What?
Awesome programmer.
Yeah. Well, you know, the cool, you know, believe it or not, are we in week 3 right now? Basically, about 3 days prior to class, I'd never touched Python in my life. But the point is, once you know one language, it's just syntax. It's just, how is the for loop different? How is the concatenation character different? So once you know one, you can do all of them. It really doesn't matter. Problem is, I used to teach Visual Basic and C++ in the same day, right back to back. That was the hardest thing ever. And I think I taught Visual Basic one day, went into C++. Halfway through the entire lecture, someone finally raised their hand and says, I'm really confused. I'm like, no one bothered to raise their hand at the beginning and say, hey, this is the wrong language. But it's tough. It's, you know, it's, oh well. All right, so everybody okay with how count works? You can successfully use count to determine how many times and is in there. No problems with count. Yes, sir.
Well, when you said that error came up, you needed the string thing.
Right.
What part of the error statement would it?
Okay, right here. Type error can't convert int object to string implicitly. What this is telling me in line 1, which is the line I typed, and here's the line, it's telling me I could not convert an integer object to a string. And this right here is the integer object. I will agree with you, the error messages are a little cryptic on some of these, but look at the last line, because the way Python does it, it kind of, it shows you, here's the lines that caused the error, and here's the error. Where in Java it's the other way. It's like, here's the error, and here's the lines that caused it. Python's like, here's the lines that caused the error, and here's the error. So, and the reason it told me line 1 is because I'm running it in the interpreter when there's only one line. So, yeah, this part here, can't convert int object to string. Yeah, it'd be nice if they automatically did it for us. Now, we could rewrite this. do method overloading to automatically do an implicit type conversion, but that's later. So this right here is returning an integer. So if you look over here, count returns the number of occurrences. So in other words, it returns an integer. Since it returned an integer, that's an integer, and this is a string. Python says, I can't do a string plus an integer. So then what I changed it to is I told it, hey, convert that integer to a string. Yes?
So, is there somewhere in the book where it explains the concatenation rules for different kinds?
Yeah, it's right at the beginning of this chapter. The very beginning of chapter 3.
Is it the same as some other language like Lisp as far as concatenation?
I haven't played with lists in so many years, I don't remember. It's probably been 25 years. No, I don't know. I don't know. The concatenation works exactly the same as the way it does in Java and stuff, except that it doesn't do the implicit type conversion. You have to convert it to an integer. You have to make sure all of it's a string.
All has to be one thing.
Right, all has to be one. I can output all integers. Yeah, that's no problem. Like if I go in here, like right here, remember this outputted perfectly because it was all an integer. But the moment I'm trying to print out a string and an integer, it's like, make up my mind. Which do you want? I can't do both. Okay? Good question, though. Yeah, the error is kind of cryptic, but that's what it means. Yes, sir.
Looking at some of the errors that I got back yesterday, looking at your error now, you said on the bottom it tells you what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Does it always tell you almost the answer to solve it? Because I see that it's telling you to correct the integer and then tells you.
A lot of times it does tell you, and like if you call a method with the wrong number of arguments, it'll say missing argument, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they usually do a decent job telling you what it is. But you still have to know enough to look at that line and say, what do you mean integer? I'm working with hi there. You need to know that the count returns an integer, and that's what's causing the problem. Okay? Yeah, but the errors are okay. They're not fabulous. Okay, let's continue on. All right, so we saw how all those work. All right, there's example. Well, I don't want to walk through every example here, but they got index, they got find. I'm not requiring you to do those. But here's replace. We already talked about replace. Actually, let's do one more replace. So I could say, what's my name? My name is currently Keen. Name dot replace. Okay, I want to fix my name. How do I get it back to Ken? Replace with E. Like that?
You gotta add it to the name equals.
I gotta do name equals, or else it's gonna say Ken just fine. But if I say name again, it's gonna say Keen. It's like, darn it. So what I need to do is name equals. I don't know if I can bring this down all at the same time. Yes, I can.
Did you press up and hit enter?
Yep, that's all I did. There you go. So I replaced it. So what if name equals Ken Dewey? Okay. Name equals name dot replace. I want to get rid of the space in my name. How do I do that? What?
Place.
I don't use semicolon. See that? I'm replacing a space with nothing. Everybody see that? Alright, so how do I put a space back in my name?
Put your letter in there.
To the opposite side.
What?
Just switch it around.
And put a space in between.
That'll work. As It's a very cheesy way of doing it, but it worked. It works. Everybody see how I got rid of the space? Huh, so we should have any problem getting rid of spaces? That's the only thing that drove me crazy this morning working on that program. Because I did not realize that I actually had to overwrite the variable itself. But, all right, let's continue on. So there's replace. Character functions. ORD. Let's look at ORD. Where'd my mouse go? I lost my mouse. There it is. ORD. I want to see ORD. What am I going to get? Anyone know? No. An error. Whoever said error? Who did error? Because I need parentheses. Actually, let's do it without the parentheses so you can see the error. Error, invalid syntax. You gotta have the parentheses. $65. So I want to see. Here's what I kept doing wrong. Kept doing that. They don't know what's wrong with that? I don't need an A. It's like, why? Every language is CHAR. Python is just CHR. Ah, you're killing me here. Just little things like that. Okay? Yes?
So if it's a capital A, it'll go to 65, but if it's a lowercase a, so it'll go to 97.
Lowercase a is a lot less. It's like 60. No, it's not. Oh, it's 97. I can remember. That's why I want you guys to convert everything to uppercase. That's why I made some of them lowercase, if you noticed.
But why is there a difference between uppercase and lowercase?
It is. When you write your name, do you scream the entire time, write the whole thing in capital letters? There you go. Because they are. They're actually different characters. And that's why we have uppercase functions and lowercase functions converted back and forth. So I wrote one called camel case, where it's the first initial capitals, the rest lowercase. I don't know. Python might have one of those. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet. So, all right. So we've seen OR and char. We already saw a string. We saw how to convert an integer to a string. So let's continue on. All right. We need the next set of pages here. All right. Here's an example, lettered index. I'm not going to walk through his example. I'd rather just show you the different stuff. Okay. He starts talking about transposition ciphers. Actually similar to the one you just did, because I think we pretty much covered everything we need to cover. I wouldn't worry about walking through these unless you just want to get examples of using the string functions. Okay? Because they're really good for that. Okay? I teach. Well, where's it at? Come on, we're gonna find it. Again, he has lots of examples which are good. Y'all know how to get input already. Here's an example of getting input. You know how to do that. You already did that. Substitution cipher. Now the Caesar cipher is a simple substitution cipher. Okay? But his is using a key. So it's not quite the same. So don't think you can just take his and copy it. Okay? It's not quite the same. That's why I made mine a little different, so you couldn't just use his. Alright, and I think... Yeah, because I'm not walking through all those examples. We're just about done. Okay, there's creating a key. I'm not going to walk through creating a key. Oh, but he is showing you how to remove characters. Yeah. It's a method he wrote here. String in the index so you can go remove a specific character if you like. This is on page 104. Okay. Let's see what else we need to see. Key generation. Yeah. It wouldn't hurt you to walk through this stuff. We're just not going to go through all of them. Here's, he wrote a method to remove duplicates. Yeah, all he's doing is using the ones we already talked about. The veneer cipher, also known as the Vigneri if you have other people say it. This is in my lecture, I think number 4 on computer security. I talk about this, exactly how it works. So you're welcome to walk through that. We're not going to write this in code at all. I had to write it in Java, but it's not that difficult. Does he give it to us here? There it is. It's really short to work with. Okay. I think we're just about done here. 2 more pages. Yeah, that's the rest of it. The rest of it is all just walking through examples. So, everybody okay on those functions you got to use? Let me bring up the program one more time. Is everybody okay on org and care? Or char? Or ch? Yeah. So I even gave you, 65 turns in, an A turns into 65 and so on and so forth. I gave you that. Everybody know how to use length. Let's look at length. Why didn't it work? Does anyone know? I did name. We still have name, don't we? Yeah. It didn't work. Does anyone know why?
The name is a string and the length is an integer.
Well, how about this? That one you actually do differently. I don't know why. It's not a method of the string class. It's weird. So for length, you actually type len and put the string inside of the parentheses. Okay? We actually did cover that in chapter 2, but we used it as a loop range limiter. So we looked at org already. Let's do name.upper Kindui. Everybody see that? Name.lower. Now you notice they're not changing it. Everybody see that? Bring it up higher on the screen. Name.upper and name.lower aren't changing my name. So how about I make it change my name? What? Right. Name equals name.upper. Yes, sir.
I don't understand when you say it's not changing.
Okay.
It's uppercase.
Right there I say, and see it outside. But when I type name again, look, it didn't save it. It's outputting it in uppercase or outputting it in lowercase. It's not actually saving it. What this is doing is it takes the string name, converts it to uppercase, and outputs the results. But it really didn't change it. Let me show you that again. So if I type name.upper, hold on. It outputs it uppercase. But when I just type name again, it's still not, it's still in camel case. So if I want to change it, I would have to say name equals name.upper. Now if I type name, it's uppercase. It's just like the replace. It's kind of changing it, but showing you the change, not actually overriding it. There's a good reason for that. Maybe you don't want to overwrite the original string. Maybe, I want it to like name. So I could have my original name, then a new variable called name upper or something. Okay? So everybody okay on how upper works and lower works? We did replace already. Everybody okay on count? We did count already. Remember, we're looking for EE. And if you don't know this by now, if you were walking through all these examples right now with me, you can literally do file save. And save this to a PY file, and everything we did in class today you would have. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to do that, but you could. Alright, so there's upper. We did count. We did string. Let's do string again. Okay. STR 52 or 53 gives us 53. Just gives us the string of 53. Now I say the string of 53 because they're not the same. Let me show you why it's not the same. Ah, wrong button. Let's look at a 5. What's the value of 5? Right. So the string 5 is numeric 53. Let's look at that. So if I want to know the ordinal value of 5, it's going to say 53. Because 5 integer is not the same as 5 string. Yeah, see 5, it's not even showable in here. Everybody understand what I just said? The string 5 is actually integer 53. So if I wanted to see the string of 56, I'll get, no, hold on. I want to see the char of 56. That's what I wanted. I want to see the character of 56 is actually 8. Because the whole ASCII value thing is different. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It was kind of cool. Way back when I was in the military, I wrote a program that generated an Air Force form. And I had to use, where are they at? It was like 34. Oh, they're not going to show in here? Well, that sucks. But there's symbols you can actually use to draw forms. Guess they're not going to show them in here. Oh, that sucks. It's not even fair. But everybody understand the difference between a string and a number? So what is the number for the string 1? 49. The string 1 is number 49. And you can always ask Google, type in ASCII chart, and he shows them to you. Watch. There's tons of them. There you go. There's a standard one, and there's an extended one, and all kinds of stuff. There they are. See all these lines down here, the extended codes? That's what I had to use to make that Air Force form. Well, that was exciting. Okay. Alright. Is everybody good? No questions? Alright. Program's due on Sunday. Start working on it. I haven't put a due date on. I'll go put the due date on it. Alright. Then we're good to go. Let me stop this.